Hey guys, it's time to talk about testing expert advisors. Because, as practice has shown, more than 50% of users don't know how to test trading bots at all. They either run incorrect tests, use the MetaTrader5 strategy tester improperly, or they don't know how to analyze the test results. Both of these things can lead to you might just start using an expert advisor without testing it, without understanding how it has traded, how it is trading now, or how it will trade in the future. So please watch my video. I have enough experience to teach you something useful, and I'll try to teach you something good right now. So, let's start with the fact that our MetaTrader5 platform has a strategy tester. It's located here in the View menu. Click on it, open the strategy tester, and you'll enter the strategy tester, where you can test any expert advisor that performs automated trading to understand how it has traded in the past. And the results of historical tests don't give us, well, not 100% the same. They don't guarantee, so to speak, that the same results will happen in the future. No. But we will simply see the trading dynamics. And that's worth a lot, because we'll have a proper understanding of what we're putting on our trading account. So then, any testing should start with, of course, installing the expert advisor on your platform in order to test it. And any further testing begins with you going to the author of this expert advisor. In this case, I'm testing my own trading bot called Swing Master, which I sell on my website and in my MQL5 profile. So, as you can see, I have a step-by-step guide here on how to install and use it. I go to the instruction page and see various pieces of information here that need to be studied. And here, for example, is what you need to ask me. Or read if there is already something published. For example, Swing Master. It trades on different markets. It's an excellent and versatile bot that has various trading portfolios. One of the latest, for instance, that interests me is Swing Master trading with 2 positions. This is not averaging in the usual sense. Essentially, it's when the initial trading lot is split in 2, and we trade more flexibly because we can adjust, sort of average out, with the second supplementary trade. I call this Swing Master 2-step averaging. So here we see the initial description that the expert advisor works on certain currency pairs. Look, there are their descriptions. So here I have already selected this one, advisor for myself, for testing. And in the next column, symbol, we select the currency pair that the author, in this case me, recommends for trading. The first one I have here is the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. Accordingly, here I set this currency pair for trading. I select it here from the list of assets. Found it, selected it, set it. Second, the time frame for trading. Let's see, is the time frame specified or not? It is specified, M15. Look, there are a lot of time frames here. And this is very important because if you set, for example, H4 here, the results will be completely different. And you'll say, damn, what kind of trading is this? What kind of results are these? They're very bad. Why do I need this expert advisor? In reality, it actually trades on M15. And on H4, it won't give you the results you need because it was created for the M15 time frame. So next we select the testing period. Which period should you choose? Of course, you can take the last year, but that would be incorrect because in just 1 year, you won't see the dynamics, how things have changed each year, what has happened with this expert advisor. If there are periods, for example, with large drawdowns when it drains your trading account, you shouldn't just look at the last year. Typically, the last year is made to look the best by the authors. Because inexperienced traders don't understand what they're doing. They don't know how to test properly. Everyone is counting on that. But you should be smarter. Look at a longer period. Here you can select a year. Take a look. Well, going lower than, say, 2000 or even 2018. I just set it to 2018 because anything older, it's unclear whether the broker even has accurate historical quotes. But from 2018, the history has been very good with all brokers, so that's what I recommend. That's what I'm looking at now. Starting from June of 2018 and continuing all the way up to the present day. Next then, we will discuss. So here you can sort of virtually create some kind of significantly worse performance, perhaps adding a noticeable delay to order execution in order to simulate more realistic, market-like, less than ideal trading conditions, potentially with some kind of noticeable lag. However, I personally don't bother with that particular feature. It's completely unnecessary for my specific purposes, so I typically skip it and simply leave everything at the default settings, which works perfectly well for me. So here, for modeling quality, you should definitely select every tick, but you don't need to choose every tick based on real ticks, because that will significantly slow down your testing results, but you won't really get anything meaningful from the strategy tester because brokers don't save real ticks. They write a lot of nice phrases about supposedly saving something here. They don't save anything at all. All they have are virtually simulated ticks that never actually happened. And if those price ticks never really existed, what's the point of choosing real ticks if they're not real? We just take the tick history, set the deposit. Well, I recommend setting the deposit amount that you actually have. I set it to 1,000 US dollars. Swingmaster can actually work with 200 US dollars. I set it to 1,000. And the account currency is USD. I always recommend opening accounts in USD. No matter what your native currency is in your country, choose USD. It's the most liquid currency on the financial market. Trading servers work much better if they're set to USD currency. And the size of your leverage should be set to 1 to 500. That's it. Next, but that's not all. Watch this. Let's go to Winputs. And here we have a bunch of trading settings. And it would be silly to expect that an expert advisor with all these settings would work equally well on all currency pairs that are recommended for use here. And for each author, you should look for or ask if there are any set files to properly configure the expert advisor for a specific asset. Here, I have carefully set up all the necessary files for this particular portfolio project. Download all of the files and then proceed to extract them. And now we have these set files. And they need to be used for configuration. So how do you do that? Watch. Let's go back to the expert advisor. Just right-click anywhere in this area. It doesn't matter where. Here we see load. Click load. And use your computer's internal navigator to find these set files. These were called swing to deals. Select the name of the currency pair you're testing on. Let me remind you, that's the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. Click Open, and for the tests, I always recommend running tests with a fixed lot. Here we have a parameter that controls this. You can set a fixed lot as well. You can also check with the author how to set a fixed lot correctly so that the tests are done properly, because everyone sets it up wanting a show. Everyone wants to see the deposit grow rapidly, but they don't understand how correct that is from a technical point of view and miss out on a lot of important information. So we've set a fixed lot, and now after we've configured the expert advisor to trade the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar, this currency pair, we've set it up for testing and use the set file for the test, this one for the configuration. Now finally, we can click the start button to launch the test. Later, by the way, I'll show you how to run a test in visual mode so you can actually see all the trades. But for now, we only need the equity growth chart. Here, this chart has started to form. Here are the trades. Here we have, wow, We have some results here. There's some drawdown. Yes, all of this is being simulated as the expert advisor would actually trade in reality, well, in historical data in this case, and we can see how the trading account grows. So our test account has started to grow in the virtual environment, and we can see that this test will continue for 21 minutes. That's quite a lot. But we're testing on real ticks. And of course, I'm not going to just chat idly for 21 minutes. I'll just switch the video to fast forward later so you can see how it actually happens in real time. I'm going to go make myself some coffee while this test is running. Alright guys, the test is finished. And now you can take the first step in your analysis. First of all, that's a visual analysis. Here we have, for example, on the graph tab, we can see the equity growth chart. This is how steadily it grew. It's important to analyze it visually as well because we can observe the trading dynamics. Over an extended and considerable period of time, spanning across a very large time span. Whoa. From 2018 to 2025, on a single asset with a fixed lot size, and the fixed lot is very important because it's specifically during a fixed lot test that we can examine the technical characteristics of the test results. What is it that's really important for us to see, guys? The first indicator is the profit factor. The profit factor is an indicator that shows us how much more profit there is compared to loss. I believe that overall, if an expert advisor operates with a profit factor of 1.6 or higher, that's already pretty good. Here, our profit factor is 2.0. That means the profit is twice as much as the loss. That's already very impressive. Another very important factor is maximum drawdown. Here it is. Maximum drawdown by balance. And we can see that here we have only a 2.5% maximum drawdown. That's also really impressive. So, for example, if you absolutely know that you genuinely want to actively trade at a proprietary firm and they have a very strict maximum drawdown requirement of absolutely no more than 5%, and here, in this particular instance, we have a maximum drawdown of only 2.5% on a single individual currency pair. Anything that is below 5% is considered super safe and incredibly secure. Anything that is below a maximum drawdown of 10% is also widely considered to be quite safe and acceptable. Anything that is above 10% truly starts to make many traders a bit nervous and genuinely concerned, actually. A maximum drawdown of up to 15% is considered a good workable maximum drawdown. Here we have less than 5%, so here it's super safe overall. Second point. The recovery factor is very important to us. And the higher it is, the more stable your system is. The recovery factor. Let me explain it correctly so you understand. It's the system's efficiency coefficient. How much money you earn for each unit of drawdown. The higher this indicator, the healthier and more stable the trading system. So, according to ChatGPT, if the recovery factor is above 5, that's excellent. And if, guys, it's even higher, much higher than 5, and mine is 11. That means it's damn phenomenally super cool. So guys, another really important metric that we need to consider is the expected payoff. It should ideally be more than 50 cents. This particular metric represents the average profit that you can anticipate per trade, which is calculated using a formula. We take the net profit, total net profit, this one, and divide it by the number of trades, total trades. and that gives us the expected payoff. Overall, it is generally considered quite good if the value is above 1. However, if we are dealing with a substantial number of trades, as is clearly demonstrated in this particular case, then the average value should ideally be more than 50 cents. Well, in our case, we do have more than 50 cents as a result. So, from a comprehensive technical standpoint, we've meticulously looked at absolutely everything. We've carefully checked the crucial maximum drawdown, the essential profit factor, the total number of trades, which can, of course, significantly vary, and we've thoroughly examined the expected payoff and precisely how the initial deposit actually steadily grows. Based on all this extensive analysis, we then draw informed conclusions about whether this particular automated trading bot is truly good or not. If we saw that the maximum drawdown here was more than 30%, that would indicate that this is a risky trading bot. If we see that the profit factor is less than 1.5, that is, the profit is only 1.5 times greater than the loss, then this is not a very profitable trading strategy. And considering that real trading performs worse than trading in the tester, a profit factor of 1.5, meaning 1.5 times, will actually be much worse in reality. And we will have even less. We should always have a margin of safety. This profit factor of 2.0 is our margin of safety. And the recovery factor is very important. How quickly the system recovers after losses. If it's above 5, that's already good. If it's 11 in this case, that's awesome. So that's it, we've looked at it, we've tested it. And now, considering that we have Swingmaster running on 8 different currency pairs, here in this portfolio. We even have several more portfolios. So here it is. We can understand that this is a cool expert advisor. We tested all these currency pairs. Let's say we can hear it. Set in settings. Let's take the euro against the Australian dollar. Currency pair. Yes, we'll take it from here. Euro versus Australian dollar. Yes. Here she is. And of course, please don't ever forget to properly configure your inputs using the set file that is needed to configure the euro against the Australian dollar. Open. I'll show you something else now. Go to settings and look at the visual mode. We put a tick here and click on start. And the test now opens smoothly in visual mode, allowing you to see the process visually. What does visual mode mean? It means we can already see how the expert advisor works in real time on the price chart. It's trades, so to speak, right? We can speed it up using this slider. And now the trades will start. This is the market, basically the price history. And we have... Here is a specific trade example, and we can clearly see how the advisor effectively works. You can see how it opens trades. Here it opens a trade, and here it closes it. Here are the profit points. We can see them in the history, and yes, we have different trades. So trading is happening, and we can see it here. We can remove the grid here so it doesn't get in the way of our view. And we just watch how the expert advisor trades in real time. So the comprehensive chart that we had initially here is now being meticulously built, not just thanks to those virtual trades that we unfortunately cannot readily see, but precisely because we can actually and clearly watch this entire trading process unfold in real time. Visually, take a look at how incredibly interestingly and effectively the expert advisor trades. Observing how precisely and accurately it makes its trades at crucial price reversals. Okay, now we definitely won't wait for the second one to finish. Let's proceed to turn it completely off. Turn it off right now. turning it off. And let's move. To the signal page. If you have the opportunity to check the authors, the expert advisors' real results, definitely look at the real results. I'll show you how to analyze a signal in the next video. But I just wanted to say that what we've been testing and trying to figure out how it works in reality might actually already be working in real conditions. And somewhere the author has monitoring. I recently set up monitoring specifically for this Swing Master two-step averaging. Yes, we have this signal. It's been running for a month and a half now. The maximum drawdown is 3.4. We're looking at the statistics. Here are these currency pairs, 8 of them are running. Here they are, making some profit. And here's this chart, which is immediately cumulative across all 8 assets. And here it is, growing in the strategy tester. So basically, everything is interconnected. But an expert advisor that shows poor results in the strategy tester isn't even worth putting on a real account. And guys, what I wanted to say is that this video isn't just applicable to Swing Master, it's relevant to any expert advisor you use. There may also be cases when the author specifies that the expert advisor only works on a single currency pair, or, for example, on gold or on Bitcoin. In that case, use it with the default settings. Then you don't need set files for configuration. You just install it as an expert advisor. You find it here. Set the currency pair that you need. Find out from the author which time frame to use. Set the testing period. Choose the start date for your test. Be sure to select on ticks. Set the deposit amount. Your own? Set your leverage, start the test and run the testing process. But please be careful. Consider how trustworthy the author of this expert advisor really is, because some authors falsify the testing history, and in the historical data this expert advisor works perfectly, but in practice it may perform much worse or not work at all. So always look for confirmation of these tests with some real results. That's why I showed you a real signal to let you know, guys, this thing is real. This bot works well in the tester, but it also performs well in real life. There is proof of this, a signal with a small drawdown and good profitability, which I am sure will keep growing, and will keep growing for a very long time. And you will profit from this because the tests are confirmed by real statistics. And always look for confirmation of the tests you are reviewing. Whether the results are super profitable or not very profitable, always pay attention to what the author is showing you in reality.